Hi, I'm Martin, and in this video about ForDesigner we're going to take a look at the Connections and Functions window to see some of the improvements that we've made in ForDesigner. So here I have a very simple scene which contains a lower third, simple in and out animation that show and hide this object. So let's go back to the in and we'll go to the Connections window. So over here we have a section called Global Math, and this shows you all of the math functions that exist within the scene. And up here we see the math functions, the connections, and the value that's being calculated. So in here you can see the flow of data up through the scene. So for instance in this function it starts out with a typical a plus e plus I, then an additional function is applied on top, and this results in a positional change. So we can actually track the values through the scene to see how different pieces of data, when connected together, will result in a different value at the end. Now we can also edit these functions directly. If I just select this one here, we'll see that the functions are now color-coded. If I just zoom in a little bit, we can increase the size of the font, and I can show you some of the new features that have been introduced here. Now first up we have complementing enabled by default. This means as I start to type, it will pick up values automatically and allow me to auto-complete these values. And the error correction will pop up or close according to the function as I write it. And you can see if I start to type in something with an error, it will show me what options I have. You can also see when I start to type the letter from one of the existing functions, it will appear in here automatically. What I can also do is I can go to the Math tab and I can see all of the variables that are available, including operators, statements, and the functions themselves. And if I click on one of these and drag and drop, it will insert it for me with the parentheses placed in there, any commas that are required, and so on. So I can actually start to fill this in myself. It will also highlight the brackets to show the data inside. So it's much more advanced than what we had in 3Designer, and hopefully much more user-friendly, so that people that are new to dealing with functions have an easier time understanding how they're written and how they're used within the scene. What we can also do up here is insert the values which are exported. We can select them and we can change the value directly in this window. So we can see this and how it will be reflected throughout the scene, and we also see the update inside Render Engine. So I think these changes will really help users get into using functions inside the scene. Thank you very much.